Hello, crafty friends. Happy Friday. Welcome to Flosstube. I think this is number 85. My name is Jessie. This is mislaidpages, and my pronouns are they, them, and she, her. I'm a queer, non binary crafter, knitter, stitcher, and small business owner, and I also have a day job, so I'm busy. But that's me in a nutshell. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Happy to see you. I had hoped to have the new Flosstube up a week ago. If you've been here for a while, you know how these things go. Anyway, hi, how are you? Happy Friday. Welcome to Flosstube. This is where I talk about my crafty stuff, primarily cross-stitching, sometimes knitting, sometimes other crafts. I also do shop updates because I do have a business, also named Mislaid Pages, where I sell my hand-dyed fabrics as well as cross-stitching charts and other stitchy accessories like threads and silks and needles and things like that. Or actually, I haven't gotten the needles and the scissors and those kinds of accessories up on the site yet, but working on it. Working on it. Yeah, so we do shop updates, we talk about crafts, sometimes we talk about craftivism and activism. Today I'm probably going to talk a little bit about that kind of stuff. Or actually, we're definitely going to talk a little bit about that stuff because we're talking about Marathon for MMIW G2S, as well as some other things today. So there will be some discussion of activism, of sometimes current events, things like that. Sometimes I talk about what I'm watching, what I'm listening to. What I'm reading, listening to more than reading because I don't read physical things so much anymore. I'm also neurodivergent. I have ADHD, possibly other neurodivergencies. But yeah, so there's a lot here. There's a lot here. And a lot of folks enjoy it. Some folks, it's not their bag. That's totally fine. If some of this stuff is not to your liking, that's 100% okay. There's lots of other floss tubers out there. If this stuff sounds like it is your bag, then please stay. I would love to have you and have you hang out and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try to speak not as quickly as I realized I just was, but I'm a fast talker, which I did not realize until recently. I don't know how I didn't realize that, but I talk fast because there's a lot of things to say and there's a lot of stuff going on in my brain. So I talk fast. Sometimes I feel it because sometimes I feel like I'm out of breath. But anyway, so here we are. It's Friday. It is September 23rd. I cannot even believe that we are almost at the end of September. Where has the month gone? I say this all the time. I know I do, but it just really, on a day-to-day basis, it can feel like the time is plodding, but then as the time, like suddenly I look up and 3 weeks have passed and it's just like, whoa, where? So, lots of stuff happening this month and next month. The big thing on my mind, anyway, two big things on my mind are Season of Smalls, because Season of Smalls is well underway. There's a cat. Momo's having a moment. I don't know what's going on with her today. Also, if you're new here, I have 3 cats, and they enjoy interrupting. So Season of Smalls is well underway. September and October are for Season of Smalls, for stitching all the small things. All the small things. Okay. If you don't know what Season of Smalls is, I have a whole thing about it on my website, www.mislaidpages.com. I don't have I do have the thing. Wrong one. Spoilers. Here's the logo. So Season of Smalls, there is a tab for it on my website, www.mislaidpages.com, which should be scrolling right around here. The cats are having fun today. So yeah, check out the website, check out Season of Smalls. That'll give you all the information on what Season of Smalls is, what the point of it is, what I'm doing with Season of Smalls, and how you can participate if you would like to. So there are prizes. I will talk more about prizes in a week or two. I'm still figuring out what happened to my light. My light it's because of the light in the back. Because now it's real yellow. Hold on. Let me pause and fix that. Okay, a little bit better. Close the curtain. Okay, so yeah, more information about Season of Smalls. So there will be prizes. I have not determined exactly what those prizes will be. I will say that I'm going to try to make sure that the prize that is the prize that is exclusively available to folks who are participating by donating to the cause. That prize is going to be a little bit more. Just because I really want to encourage you to participate by donating to the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women. So I want the incentive to be bigger for the donation stuff. So, so I will say that the prizes will probably include charts and or threads or thread packs and or project bags, possibly fabric. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if fabric's going to happen, but I'm thinking charts, threads, project bags, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try to make it really good, and I'll give you more specifics in another week or two once I have kind of nailed that down. So any other information you want about Season of Smalls, feel free to ask in the comments here, send me an email, or check out the website and website like it's behind me. Check out the website. If there are still questions you have, let me know. Happy to answer. Loki is sniffing at my cross stitching. So I have not yet stitched any smalls. I will be stitching smalls. And now I have something in my eye. Hello, I have a cat. Okay. I'm being invaded. I'm being invaded. What? Momo, come here. If you follow me on Twitch, this happens a lot. This happens a lot. Let me show you what my main thing for Season of Smalls is going to be. So this is a brand new chart. This just came out for Expo. Momo. Cat. What? This is a brand new chart that just came out at Expo. This is from Hello from Liz Matthews. This is called For a Friend, and my small is actually going to be this little burb postage stamp in the corner because I think it's adorable, and I'm obsessed with it, and I must do it. So that's my stitch. So this entire stitch is actually not that large. The whole thing for me is not a small because I can't stitch that fast, but the whole thing is only 99 by 106. So the whole thing is actually relatively small, but it's kind of a dense stitch. I would not stitch the whole thing for a small because, as I said, I don't stitch that quickly. If you're a fast stitcher, this might be a small for you. I don't know. That's why there's no hard and fast rule about what a small is, because it's individual to the person. For some people, you know, something that's 20 by 20 could take them a little bit of time. They might not have a lot of time to stitch, or they might just have other reasons that they're not as quick with the stitching. So a 20 by 20 might be appropriate for them. Other people might be able to do 100 by 100 and it's totally fast. So it just depends. Just depends on what's it for you. But this is my small this year. I have to stitch it. I need to kit this up. I don't know. It's charted in DMC and NPI. So that's NPI silks. I don't know that I'm going to use the charted threads. I have this thing about not wanting to go buy a new DMC now. I have so many Color and Cottons because I'm in their Floss of the Month club that what I tend to do these days is actually just color match from what I have from Color and Cotton, and or substitute colors that I think fit well into the vibe. So I'll probably do some color substitution with Color and Cotton. I'm probably going to keep the vibe the same. Like I'll probably, you know, keep it in that kind of, you know, autumnal sort of rustic primitive vibe, especially because I do have a bunch of primitive colors that should work really well. But I don't think I'm gonna go with the DMC. Surprisingly, there are like 7 colors in this, though that may be less true. Let me see. Looks like 2 greens, a black, a yellow. So that's 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's at least 6 colors that show up in this little postage stamp. There might be more. No, I think the other color is in the outline on the rest of the chart. Anyway, this is my small. I'm not sure when I'm going to stitch it. Sometime between now and October, the end of October. So yeah, so that's happening. So yeah, but other people are stitching lots of smalls. I've been seeing them on Instagram, which is fantastic. I haven't checked in on the entry form yet to see if folks are doing the things. But since you're supposed to send a picture of your start and your finish, folks just may not be finished yet, and that's totally fine. So I don't expect for there to be a flood of entries until, you know, sometime in October. But if you have already started and finished your small, feel free to fill out the entry form. If I don't remember to put a link down here, there is a link at the Season of Smalls page on my website, so you can get directly to that Google form and fill that out. Let's see. So let's talk more about marathon for MMIWG2S. So as you see, Season of Smalls, last year and this year has been dedicated, my Season of Smalls has been dedicated to Marathon for MMIWG2S. Now, last year, what I did was I started and finished a ton of smalls. My goal was 10 starts and finishes for the period of September 1st through October 31st, and I met that goal. It was fantastic. This year, I was not feeling the start and stop and start and stop. I just wasn't feeling it. So I'm planning on one, possibly two new starts. You already saw the one. I'll show you the other one in a minute. So one, possibly two new starts. But my main goal for Marathon this year is to try to put at least 200 stitches or 2 hours, depending on whether the chart's in Pattern Keeper or not. 200 stitches or 2 hours on all of my existing cross stitch whips and a few of my knitting whips. There's a total of 30. So, and unfortunately for me, my stitchy bug has just like flown out the window. I don't know where my stitchy bug went. I have done some stitching, and I'm going to show it to you in a second, because I have finished, I've whipped 6 of 30 whips. So I'm a fifth of the way there. And we're almost halfway through the time period. So it's going to be a challenge. But I'm hoping that my stitchy bug will hit me soon. We'll see. I might have to revise it and make it more about knitting, because the knitting bug is all about me right now. I am very into my knitting, and that's most of the crafting that I've been doing is knitting, and I am knitting like a fiend. And I'll show you that in a little bit too. So let's talk about cross stitching. I'm gonna put away the thing. So, excuse me. So let's talk about my marathon progress. Excuse me, and my cross stitching, because it's all kind of one thing. So the first piece that I worked on for marathon, I talked about this last video. This is the Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers. Let me adjust here. Okay. This is the Pilgrim by Long Dog Samplers. This was gifted to me by Michelle over at Bendy Stitchy. So it's our Long Dog, #our Long Dog Sampler. Because it will forever be ours. And so she started this. She did all of that. I have done all of that. So, and my progress for marathon was this section here. So this kind of railroady X happening right there. I forget the specific stitch count. It's a little over 200 stitches. Took me about, I want to say it took me 4 rounds of 25/7. And I say 4 rounds of 25/7 because what I've been doing is I've been setting my timer for 25 minutes, and then I stitch however much I can stitch in 25 minutes. And if I feel like stopping, I stop. And if I don't, then I set the timer again, because that seems to be a really nice way to get myself to stitch more. Because I have this tendency in my brain to feel like if I don't have hours, then I can't sit down and stitch, because I want to spend hours stitching when I stitch. Trying to get it so the light is not behind it. But anyway, so by setting the timer for 25 minutes at a time, that kind of separates the time in my brain so that I can start and stop, and I can take a break, and I can come back to it and all that kind of stuff. Loki, Loki's now going to get into the rest of my whips. Sir. So yeah, it took me about 4 rounds of 25 minutes. That first round, I stitched a little bit and then had to frog for the whole next round. And now we have another cat. Hello. What? What is with y'all today? Is it because I'm filming? Okay. Y'all. So it's a little over 200 stitches. Took me about 100 minutes total, and that is whip number 1 of 30. So Loki, sir, I need you to not be okay. I don't mind them getting up and everything while I'm filming or while I'm on Twitch, but I have too much stuff on my desk right now. I just cannot. I cannot. Okay, so that was the first piece that I worked on for Marathon. The second piece that I worked on for Marathon is a piece by Ana Aguayo, who is a Peruvian artist. She is a designer, and she is... she's the owner and creator for Peruvian Flair. She has an Etsy shop. I'll try to remember to link her. This is Peruvian Cats, which she put out last year, I believe. And I got quite a bit stitched on this. So I think I was right at the corner here on the border. This floss is life. Oh my gosh. So this is a colorway called Bejewel from Kathy Davidson at Dying for Cross Stitch. It is my favorite ever. I love it so much. And this is a piece of 40 count granite from Bestitch Me. Hello, Momo. Really, y'all? Can I go 5 minutes? Oh my gosh. So this is a piece of 40 count granite from Bestitch Me. And the two of these together is just, it's just, y'all, I can't even. It's so good. So anyway, this is Peruvian Cats in Bejewel. As I said, I had stopped right about the corner here on this border. This border is also fantastic. I love this border. It stitches up so fast. So I stitched all of that. And that's about 300 stitches that I got, I think, in 3 rounds of 25 minutes. So, and like I said, the only reason I'm counting the time for the ones that I actually have a stitch count for is just because it helps break it up in my brain so that it's easier to do. So, so yeah. So that is whip number 2 of 30. Ma'am. And now she's loving up on my long dog. I have to get new lint rollers because there's cat fur on all of my stitching. Anyway, ma'am. 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 Get down. Get down. Momo, get down. Stop. Get. Luna is being the sweet child. She's sleeping in a chair across the room. I wish the other two would go to sleep. It's like Samuel L. Jackson, go the F to sleep. Just go to sleep. Okay, of these two, I can't remember which one I worked on first, so we're just going to talk about the one that I grabbed first. So whip number 3 or 4, depending on what the order actually was. I posted these on Instagram, so Instagram knows which one is actually which. But I actually did dark 13 stitching. So on the 13th, I stitched on this. You can't see it very well. So this is Night Crawlers from the Witchy Stitcher's Creepy Cryptid. I'm stitching it on 40 count Country Mocha with the called for DMC. This is a little over 200 stitches, and I stitched this in hand, so it took me a little bit longer. I don't remember if I counted the time or not. I probably used my 25/7 timer, but I think I've stopped considering it a 25/7 timer when I'm doing it this way, and I'm just using it as a break timer, basically. It's more like a productivity thing at this point. So that is my 200 stitches on that whip. So that is 3 of 30, and then I also worked on Schnabelperchten. So Schnabelperchten is from a designer by the name, or that goes by the name of Thread Sewer. She also has an Etsy shop. And this is based off of I believe, Romanian folklore. It has to do with, I believe, Epiphany, which is a time of year for primarily Christian folks, I think. Epiphany is some period of time after the resurrection. And in a lot of folklore, it's a time where folks are expected to kind of clean out their lives and their houses and things like that. And Kirsten, I actually listened to a lore episode that talks about some of the origins related to this. Or related to where Thread Sower got all of the lore and stuff. And it was really interesting. So there's this witch that comes around, and if your life is not together enough, if your house is not clean enough, she comes to your house and she cuts you open with her big giant scissors, and she sweeps all the dust and dirt into your belly. It's really creepy. But so Schnabelperchten is a bird version of that. Schnabelperchten are crows that are like Perchten who come along, and they sweep stuff up into your entrails if your house is not clean enough and stuff. So which I find hilarious on a number of levels. This one also has a funny origin story because and Jazz calls this pulling a Jessie at this point. So when I originally started this, I did not pay attention to the dimensions of the chart compared to the dimensions of my fabric. So I started stitching it like this. And realized that that I had the fabric the wrong direction for the dimensions of the chart. So, and at that time, all I had was just the lines across the top, and I had done some of the lines along the side, and I had started, you can see right here, there's like 4 stitches. This was to indicate where the band was starting going this way. But I realized that my fabric was in the wrong direction, so I had to turn it this way. So rather than, I think I pulled out some of the stitches because some of the stitches wouldn't work. But I didn't frog it all because I was like, F that. So I kept the straight lines, and I kept those 4 little stitches to remind me. And also, you can't see this. I don't know if I could even see this. I think you'd have to look even closer than I can look. Okay, yeah. If you look closely, you can see that some of the stitches are going in a different direction than the other stitches. So, yeah. So it just tickles me. The whole thing tickles me. So this is Schnabelperchten. This is another colorway from Dying for Cross Stitch. I believe this is Peacock Party. The fabric is it's a Lugana. I can't remember if it's a 28. I think it's a 32 count. Lugana from Color and Cotton. Color name is escaping me. I think it's Succulent is the color name. And yeah, so that's whip number 4. So I actually did pretty much all of this flower motif in my 200 stitches. So that's my progress on that. So that's all the cross stitching that I've done, which for the last 2 weeks, I mean, when I show it to you like this, it seems like a lot of stitching, right? But it's really, I mean, that's been since September 2nd. So it's really not that much stitching. It's September 23rd. That's 20 days of stitching. That's not a lot of stitching. But what I have been doing is knitting. So let me show you my knitting. So in addition to the 4 cross stitch whips that I have whipped, I have gotten in at least 2 hours, more than 2 hours in both cases, many more than 2 hours in both cases. I have gotten 2 hours in on 2 different knitting whips. One you're very familiar with. So first I'm going to show you Slipstravaganza. If I can do it without pulling the needles out. Okay. This one is always a little bit of a puzzle to take out of the bag. Okay. I, of course, have my I have my Pokemon bag from Fangirl Fibers. So there is that. Okay, and I'm in one of those sections where I'm doing color work, so... okay, this is a monster. This one's a monster. Where are you? Let me... I probably should have pulled this out and done this off camera, but you know, here we are. Those of you who've known me for a little while, you know what you see is what you get. I just fly by the seat of my pants and I hope for the best. That's how we do around here. Okay. So, here is Slipstravaganza. And I have to do this just for jazz. Just for the screenshot. Okay. So anyway, here is Slipstravaganza. I have officially finished. It's too big to hold on camera. Okay, let me back up some. I've officially finished section 3. So, and I started section 4. You can't really tell, but I have started section 4. The nice thing is now you can see the diamonds. Can you see the diamonds? Look how pretty. So the slip stitches in this row section form diamonds. They form black diamonds around the other colors, which I think is really, really cool. So, so yeah, I finished all of that. I finished all of that. So, I can't remember exactly where I was. I feel like I was probably around here, or maybe, I think I was in one of these purple stripes. So, that's a lot of knitting. There are almost 500 stitches on the needle at this point. So it's a F load of knitting. It's a metric F ton of knitting, that I have been doing on this. But I decided once I got to section 4, I decided to go ahead and take a break, because I was afraid that I would not be willing to put it down to be able to do any other knitting whips. So I'm probably still going to go back to this pretty soon. There's part of me that really wants to get this finished before the new MCAL starts. But I have to remind myself, today is the 23rd, the new MCAL starts on the 6th of October. So finishing this by October 6th, that's not happening. It's just not happening. And I just have to keep telling myself that because otherwise we're going to have issues. Besides the fact, it's okay to start it's okay to have another project on the needles. It just is. I have to keep telling myself that too. Especially since I bought new needles for the new MCAL. I meant to bring those over. So I got the MCAL I'm talking about is the Stephen West Knits annual mystery knit along. So that's what Slipstravaganza is his annual mystery knit along from 2020. Shawlography is the knit along from last year, 2021. This year is Twist and Turns. I didn't buy a yarn kit this year. I bought just the extras. So I have a little bag. You can almost see it. There's a yellow bag from last year's kit. This year it's just a normal, it's a canvas, just a raw canvas color bag. It says, "You're a knitter." And I got a set of circulars and cable needles and just like the little extras that they had available that you could purchase with a yarn kit if you were doing that, but they made them available to purchase separately as well. So I have a whole special set of needles just for that project. I have yarn that is going to be coming to me very soon, I think, which I'm very excited about. I can't wait. And and yeah, so it's okay to start another project. It's okay. It's okay. I'm telling myself that. But in the meantime, I'm working on a finish for another project, because I have entirely too much stuff. This is the bag I've been carrying it to work in. This is from the Knitted Soiree, and it's Grogu, and it says "Be Mine." It's so cute. Anyway. So in the meantime, I think I've been calling this Slow Cad, Secret Life of Cats and Dogs, from Casapinka, but it's not Slow Cad. I finished Slow Cad. This is Pinions, which I started last December. And I'm actually really, really close to a finish. So I'm going to show you about where I was, since I hadn't shown it on camera. So before I started knitting on it again, I was about there, in that general vicinity, like one or two of those really textured rows above that teal turquoise color. So that's about where I started. And then once I started, I just kept going. So I was in, I think, section 16 when I started. I'm now in section 19. So this yellow green at the top, this is section 19, and I only have 12 rows of section 19 left. Look, y'all. Look at that. Look. That's so much knitting. So much knitting. So yeah. I'm so close to a finish on this. I don't think I'm going to put it down before I finish it. I might finish this weekend. I'm just like, so, in fact, I might even do this on Twitch tonight instead of video games. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just like, I'm super into it. So to give you an idea, it just keeps going. It's a really long, shawl that is going to be turned into, or is theoretically going to be turned into a nancho. But yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. So, oops, may not mess up my needle. And this yarn that I'm using, this is leftovers from last year. This is leftovers from SlowCAD. So, Secret Life of Cats and Dogs, I knitted with a Ruby and Roses Advent kit from 2020. And this is all the yarn that was left over from that. So unlike unlike Secret Life of Cats and Dogs, I opened those in number order the way that that Addison, the dyer, had organized them, and I knitted them in the order that she organized them. So it was not a fade, it wasn't a rainbow, it wasn't anything like that. When I used the extras, I put it in a bit more of a rainbow kind of fade situation. So, and what I've been doing, rather than starting and stopping a color as the section starts and stops, I've just been knitting with that color until I run out of it, and then I start the next one. So, so the colors, there's so much cat hair. So the colors bleed into other sections. And you know, that sort of thing. And I think it looks really, really cool. I like it a lot. So it's very close to being done. So especially with this being so close to being done, I think it's 100% okay to be planning on another cast on very, very soon. Especially because knitting is all I feel like doing. All I want to do is knit. I just want to knit forever. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with knitting right now, but knitting is the thing. The thing is knitting. So yeah, so that is, Slipstravaganza was whip number 5 of 30, and Pinions is whip number 6 of 30. So I have done 2 hours or 200 stitches on 6 of my 30 total whips. So that's where we are right now. I still have a long ways to go. Those of you who have already donated to the marathon for MMIW G2S, thank you so much. Currently we are at, let me see, I think we're around 150 in donations. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but I'm going to be donating as well. So the idea is that I will donate, I'm going to be donating about $100. There's no easy math to say that I'm going to donate $3 for every whip that I touch, when it's 30 whips, because that would only be $90. I'm going to be donating $100 to myself. I might throw in a monetary penalty if I can't touch all of my whips. So what I might do is I'm going to donate $100, and then I will donate an additional $3 per whip that I do not touch. So there it is. There it is. It's on film. I'm committing to it now. So $100 plus $3 per whip that I don't touch. That way I will feel less bad if I don't hit all my whips. Because at least if I don't hit my whips, there's a benefit to the coalition to stop violence against Native women. So that makes me feel better. So yeah, so that's where we are. That's where we are with the things. In addition to being just generally obsessed with knitting right now, there's a project that I want to start. I don't have enough going on, so please let me start more projects. I want to knit a pumpkin village. And this is 100% Heike's fault, just FYI. Heike started knitting some pumpkins while I was streaming one day, and they look so fast and they're so cute. So not only do I have some yarn already that I'm gonna use to make small pumpkins, because these are super cute colors, I also purchased, because almost all of my yarn is fingering weight, and really to make pumpkins you want like bulky and chunky weight yarns. So I purchased some more yarn. Of course I purchased more yarn. So I got, look at these colors. Look at these colors. So these are from Havari Bazaar, which is a dyer. I learned about her through Michelle a couple of years ago. So if I remember correctly, Havari Bazaar she's located in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, and I believe she's Muslim. She did a Ramadan yarn box a couple of years ago. She may be doing it every year, and I've just missed out on it because I haven't been paying attention to the emails and stuff. But she dyes some fantastic colors. She has beautiful stuff on her website. And so I went looking at her stuff when I wanted some pumpkin colors. So I got these fantastic sort of calico corn colors for the autumnal pumpkin-y colors. And then I wanted to throw in a teal pumpkin as well because. So yeah, so I have these yarns to make into pumpkins. Look at the yarn, look at them. They're so pretty. So these are gonna make itty bitty pumpkins. I could hold them double to make bigger pumpkins. But these are gonna be itty bitty pumpkins, and then these are gonna be like medium because these are worsted, I think. And then this is a bulky weight. So it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. I don't know when, hopefully, well, because it's an autumn thing, I could totally do that in November if I needed to, or at least I have until November to make the pumpkin village. So, because I need another project, right? Speaking of more projects, actually, let's, since we're talking about supporting Muslim folks, in this case, business owners, but since we're talking about supporting Muslim folks, let's talk about a thing. So, before we move on, so the largest part of the reason that we're supporting, and when I say we, I'm talking about myself, Michelle over at Bendy Stitchy, Rachel at Rachel Ray Craft, Aaron to Martini Stitcher, and Alicia Resistitch. Part of the reason that we're supporting that we do marathon for, or the reason that we do marathon for MMIWG2S is to support the cause of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. So this is a group of folks who experience at a much higher rate violence and a lot of really, really difficult things. And so we're trying to raise awareness for them. We're trying to support an organization that is working to make legislative change that will help support the folks who are missing, the folks who have been murdered, and the families who are trying to find them and trying to find justice. So the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women, they're not a direct support organization, but what they do is they connect people with resources, but they also work, which is almost more important, they work in legislation to change laws, to make law, to better help these folks who are being disproportionately affected by violence, and that sort of thing. So it's a very important cause. It's something that we all feel very deeply about. And I don't know if you all have heard, but I certainly have heard in the last few days, the situation in Iran, and I apologize, the woman's name is escaping me, and I don't know that I'd pronounce it correctly anyway, but a young woman was murdered in police custody in Iran, and because she was detained by the what do they call them? The essentially religious correctness police, the folks who determine whether women are wearing their hijab correctly. and whether they're having the correct amount of propriety and that sort of thing. So she was detained by these police, and she was beaten to the point of death. She died in the hospital from injuries that she received, and this is obviously, it's not okay. It's really, really awful. This is not new either, unfortunately. It's just really hit the news cycle in the last few days. And I realized as I was seeing all of this information, learning about what's going on, that we can't support just Native women. We can't, if we feel very strongly about supporting this organization, which we do, we have to also remember that the fight is bigger than just these women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. There are women and girls and femme-presenting people all around the world who are experiencing violence based on gender, based on patriarchal expectations, based on having their bodily autonomy and freedoms taken away. And so it's really important that while we're supporting this one organization, we understand that this is not the end of it, and that our support and our activism and our craftivism have to be intersectional. So it's great, I think, that we're supporting Indigenous women, that we're supporting Native women, girls, and Two-Spirit people, but there's so many more out there that need our help as well. So if you have to pick and choose what you are donating to, and this is the thing too, let me say this before I continue. Craftivism, it's not craftivism without the activism. So in order for it to be activism, you have to act, you have to do something. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go out and participate in rallies and you have to go out and participate in protests if that's not something that is safe for you, if that's not something that's possible for you, because we don't all have the same capacities and abilities, right? But there are other ways to act. If you can't physically go and participate, you can write to congressmen, you can write to politicians, you can support organizations who have boots on the ground to help the people who are in need. So there are a lot of different ways to be an activist. And it's more than just about sharing posts on social media. It's about getting involved in some way that's more than that. And if you can't get involved yourself by donating your time, donating your physicality, your energy, you can donate money. So, so there are different ways to be active and to be an activist, but it's not craftivism without the activism. So remember that when you're throwing your hearts into the social media and stuff, that it has to go further than that, because awareness is important. Awareness is really, really important, but it's not enough. It's just the first step. So, all that being said, if the way that you're participating in your activism, or if your activism is through donation and you're limited, which I understand, we all have limited abilities, whether it's, physical stuff, monetary stuff, whatever, we all have limits. If you can only participate by donating in one thing, then this year it might be better if you participate in donating to organizations that are helping Muslim women. They're helping women in your community who are dealing with these types of violence, religious-based violence, gender violence, things like that. So, if you can't afford to support the Marathon for MMIWG2S monetarily, and also support organizations in your area that are helping Muslim women and femme-presenting people, then maybe just put your money towards helping other folks this time. It's okay. It's okay to pick and choose. We have supported the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women in a huge way last year, and I'm sure that we're going to have plenty of support again this year. So if you have to pick and choose, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. We're still going to do what we're going to do. You do what you need to do. But, if you have to make a choice, it's okay. There are other ways that you can support the marathon, and those ways include just offering moral support and encouragement to those of us who are participating, cheering us on when we post about our progress, showing up when we do things that support the marathon, that kind of stuff. If you want to, you can donate auction items, you can donate door prize items, all of that kind of stuff. So there are other ways to participate in the marathon besides actually doing the marathon yourself and besides putting money in. There are lots of other ways to participate. So don't feel bad about that. So anyway, hopefully that all makes sense. Sometimes I get to feeling very strongly and I'm not sure that I'm making a lot of logical sense. So hopefully that makes sense. And while we're talking about marathon, of course, I'm, yeah, I'm not segueing real well. Okay, let me just take a breath. We'll be right back. Okay, so the other thing I had mentioned previously is that as part of Marathon, I wanted to do a couple of Marathon Zooms. So last year, there were lots of Marathon Zooms because the 4 folks running it, Erin, Michelle, Alicia, and Rachel, had a lot more time and energy available to do that. They don't have that this year, which is 100% understandable. There's a lot of life happening. Trust me, I get it. But I wanted to go ahead and pick up the baton and run a couple of Zooms. So I've scheduled those. The first one is happening October 2nd. I know it's a little bit late warning, but Sunday, October 2nd, it's going to be noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And the way that you can participate, there's going to be a second one too. Let me talk about, I can't get organized today. So the first one's October 2nd. I already gave you the date and time. The second one will be October 30th, which is also a Sunday. Time to be determined because I want to make it accessible to folks. So I kind of need to, I would love to get an idea in the comments below if the noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time works for folks. It works really well for me. But I want to make sure that folks aren't missing out because of timing. So if we need to do it later in the day for the folks in Pacific time zone, then we can do it one a little bit later in the day on the 30th. So just kind of let me know. But the way that you can participate in those Zooms is by donating to the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women. So, and you can do that by either donating directly to the organization or donating to my 99 Pledges site, which both will be linked in the bottom and also on Season of Smalls. So, and the minimum donation is $10 to participate in the Zoom. There is a special Google form that you will fill out if you want to participate in the Zoom. And my friend Alex, Gentle Dem Stitcher, has graciously offered to assist me in the administration side of the Zoom, and I appreciate that so much, Alex. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Alex will be helping me manage that list. And Alex will actually be sending you the link in the morning that the Zoom is happening. So you'll go and make your donation. Then you'll go fill out the Google form. The Google form will tell you what you need to include. You need to donate at least $10 by either the 99 Pledges site or through the Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women site directly. And you'll want to have a picture of your donation receipt. So whether you take that as a screenshot on your phone, a screenshot on your computer, if you have to take a picture of your computer screen with your phone, however you need to take a picture, is totally fine. You'll include that on the Google form, and then we will have your email address, and we'll send you the Zoom link the morning of the Zoom. So participation is going to be limited to 20. Just so it doesn't get too overwhelming. And there will be door prizes, so just FYI. And there's some pretty generous folks donating stuff for door prizes. It's going to be pretty awesome. I'm not at the moment putting any kind of cap as far as whether you can participate in only one or both. Whatever, if you want to participate in both, that's more than fine. If you can't, or if you want to donate more than $10, that's also more than fine. But the minimum is $10, please. And Alex will be kind of paying attention to when the list gets full. So that is that. So October 2nd, October 30th, the 2nd will be noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and the 30th will be determined a little bit later. I will try to make that determination at least 2 weeks out, so that folks have time to sign up if the timing is going to be an issue. So also, while we're on the topic of craftivism, there is a special Zoom, Moon and Stars for PK Sal, which is being hosted by Marumi, Miriam of Marumi Crafts, and at least one other person. I apologize, I'm forgetting. They're hosting a Zoom October 1st from 10, I think it's 10 to 11 a.m. Central. It might be, I know it's Central. I think it's 10 to 11 a.m. Anyway, check out Marumi Crafts for more information on that. I think that there's still time to sign up for that. In fact, I need to sign up for that. But that is also, I believe it's supporting Pakistan, and that is another craftivism thing that you can get involved in. I plan on getting involved in it. I need to get the details and and do the thing. Okay. So I think that's all the marathon everything. Let me see. I'm looking at my list. Yes. Okay. So that's the marathon everything. So let's do a little bit of a wrap up of old business from a couple of videos ago. So I had the traveling humbug chart that Rachel sent back to me after she stitched it, and I said I would send that forward to someone else. I have selected a winner, and there was a little bit of a spoiler earlier. But it's not a winner, but the next person to receive the traveling humbug will be Marianne Johnson. Congratulations. So I'm pretty sure I have your address, Marianne. But I'll double check the happy mail form. We've chatted enough. It's not a problem. I didn't even check the happy mail form because I just know Marianne. So Marianne will be the next person to get the traveling humbug. Marianne, when you receive it and get a chance to stitch it, if you want to send it forward yourself, that is 100% fine. If you want to send it back to me to send forward, that is 100% fine too. So whatever you would like to do, and I believe that's hashtag traveling humbug Sal. I'll have to double check, but Marianne, congratulations. So that's where the traveling humbug is going next. Now let's do a shop update. So a couple of notes about things that are still on the website, have been on the website. I posted fabrics in August, but I wondered if people weren't really seeing the fabrics because I did things a little differently in August than I have done in past months. So the way I had been listing my hand-dyed fabrics was by individual piece. Each piece had a separate listing, and so you could see all the available fabrics at any given time. But this past month, I decided to do one listing for each fabric type and count. And I had a suspicion that folks weren't realizing that there were multiple pieces of fabric available. So I have separated those listings completely out. So now there's one listing per piece of fabric again. So I guess I'll probably stick to that mode of posting because that seems to work better for folks. So that's just a note. Also, I went through and everything that was previously marked as Expo pre-order, I removed the pre-order information. So what you see as far as the Expo charts on the site, those are all in stock, ready to ship now. So the Expo pre-orders are done, all of the shipments are in, and what you see on the site is what is available. So as far as Expo goes, that's really fun. Or that's where we are. The other thing is some new charts will be listed on the website by the time this video goes live. I already have them there. I just have to make them live. So let me show you some new things. After I shuffle things around. So the most exciting thing that is coming to the website, I'm very, very proud, happy, and elated and honored to announce that I will now be carrying physical charts for Dee and Kari. So Uncanny Kari and Dee's 20 Stitches, my friends and wonderful people, wonderful human beings, have started producing printed versions of their cross stitch charts. Let me do this. And I am very, very happy that Mislaid Pages will be carrying these printed charts as much as possible going forward. So these are the first two. This is Sailor's Delight. Pardon. I mentioned a possible second start during Season of Smalls. This is my second start. My second possible start. I have picked out my colors for this gorgeous merman here. and I'm very, very excited about it. So I have picked out my colors. I just need to get started. And then we also have Lesbian Pride Tapestry, our gorgeous sapphic unicorn, who is in a relationship with Trinkets, the trans pride unicorn. So this is Trinket's girlfriend. It's canon. So yes, both of these are available in the at mislaidpages.com. These are fantastic. The printing on these, I can't even. So you can see these are nice glossy covers. We have the all the different conversions on the back of Lesbian Pride Tapestry. As an additional note, the silk packs, the Dinky Dye silk packs, are available at mislaidpages.com as well. I need to make some more Lady Love fabric, which is the dye color, the colorway that I had created, or that I was inspired to create based on Lesbian Pride Tapestry. And you'll also be able to get this chart as well. I don't have a silk pack for this because I haven't done a conversion, but that's something that I could do. If you're interested, just let me know. So both of these are available now. You can also get the silk pack, the Dinky Dye silk pack conversion for this. I was going to say something else. Oh, I was talking about all the, I was talking about the quality of the charts. So the really fantastic thing, I think, in addition to the fact that these are glossy photo quality covers, what I love is that the pages are not stapled in. So it's essentially like a folder, and the pages are loose inside there. So you can flatten them out, you can reorganize them, you can laminate them if you want to mark on them without messing them up, or you can put them in sheet protectors to mark them without messing them up. You could, obviously you're not copying these for any other purpose than working copy, but you could make a working copy if you needed to blow them up. But I find them to be pretty readable. In addition, the what I noticed is that the backstitching, when there is backstitching, is done in a different color. So the charts are black and white, but the backstitching is done in color, so it's easier to see. So these are fantastic. Not only, I mean, they were fantastic to start with because I love Kari's artwork. I love when Dee converts that to cross stitch. They're both fantastic. But these charts are just high quality in addition to the fact that they're fantastic to start with. So those are available now, and I wanted to share that with you. So very, very excited. There will be more charts coming. Dee and I have already been talking. There's stuff coming in October, and I'm very excited about it. So yes. The other thing, most everything that I bought from Expo was already on the website. There were a few things that that I did not set up for pre-order. I meant to pull this out. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. There were a few designers and charts that I did not set up for pre-order because I didn't decide to purchase them until during Expo. Some of those charts include some older charts from, excuse me, Kathy Barrick. So you'll want to check that on the website. But I have a whole folder full of charts from Primrose Cottage, excuse me. Momo, this is not for you, ma'am. Can I have some of my desk, please? Can I have a little bit of the desk? A little bit. Ma'am. So, Primrose Cottage. I bought several charts from them, so let me show you them. I think all of these Halloween themed ones, I think all of these are new to Expo. I don't recall if these are reprints or if these are older. I think these are all new. So, Home Sweet Haunted Home is a super cute little small. Momo, come on. Okay. Ma'am. Aw. Don't make noises. No, you're okay. Ma'am. Okay, go settle. Go settle. She made a little huffy noise like I heard her. She knows how to get me. She's fine, by the way. She's 100% fine. So this is in the realm of smalls. It is 74 by 67. And it's super cute. So that is a new chart. This one is one I think is really cool because I dig the vibes. So this is the Salem Sisters Apothecary. And it's finished. Ma'am, no, no, Momo, really. Ugh. It's finished on this spooky looking 1626 board, but I love the vibes. The vibes is cool. This one is super cute. This is called Witch's Kitchen. And it seems like it would be a small, but this is actually relatively large. So this is 105 by 96. It's deceivingly large. But I love the cat. I love the cat. The only real issue I have with these is that there are a number of called for weak dye works. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. But the designs are super cute. You can always sub out a weak dye works. And then we have Halloween letters, which is very cute. This was requested by a customer, which is why I ended up shopping Primrose Cottage. So that is new to the shop. And then this is the piece de resistance. This is a book full of spooky smalls. It's full of spooky smalls. So if you're looking for smalls to stitch for Season of Smalls, but you're feeling the spooky vibe, here's a whole book full of spooky smalls. So there are 13 different ones. I'll hold it close. We got Wicked Without Coffee, and there's all different styles in here because they have a couple of different designers in Primrose Cottage. So there's some pumpkins, Trick or Treat. We have a more like traditional Quakerish prim kind of design there. We have a quilty kind of design here. And then we've got Hocus Pocus Broom Co. A couple of Hocus Pocus designs, more pumpkins. So there's lots of different stuff, different styles. And it's just really, really cute. And it's fairly affordable for the number of charts that are in here. I don't think, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think I purchased extra of the Teresa Kogut books, unfortunately, because she also put out a Halloween book, which is pretty phenomenal. Oh, before I put this away. So the other nice thing, see if I can show this to you. I'll just tell you, the charts themselves are a good size, and they're printed in color. So if you prefer color printed charts, all of these are printed in color. The pages are nice and glossy. It's a really nice quality book. But as I was saying with the Teresa Kogut, I don't think I purchased extras. So I don't think I have any available of those on the website. Those were pretty awesome too. If I can get more in the store, I will, because I think that those were pretty popular. But that's a pretty awesome book. Also, if you're looking for books of spooky designs, Lindy Stitches also put together a small book of multiple of her spooky type designs. So if you're looking for books of spooky designs, there are a bunch of them this season. The 13 Spooky Smalls from Primrose Cottage and the book from Lindy Stitches are both available at mislaidpages.com. Let me just show you since I'm talking about it, let me put this back where it belongs, and let me show you the Lindy Stitches book. Lindy Stitches. Okay. Here is Lindy Stitch's book. So she calls it a spooky book. It's got 6 adorable spooky cross-stitch patterns. It has this one, which is one of my favorites, Shiny Things. I love it. And this is like a pin keep topper or something like that. We have the Goth Chicken, which is fantastic. Grave Fellows. This broomstick brigade was featured in Cross Stitch magazine, I believe. And then, what does this say? Little Scare for Candy Corn. That cutie pie right there. So, this is a super cute one too. A little bit less expensive, a little bit less spendy than the other books, plus it's Lindy Stitches. So, this one is a little bit smaller. The charts are a little bit harder to see, but it's still a really nice quality book. The charts are printed in black and white, just FYI. But, Shiny Things. Yes. So, so those are all available. There's lots of spooky charts for your spooky Halloween, autumn, spooky season stitching at mislaidpages.com. So definitely check that out if you have a moment. What else do I need to? I think is that all the things? Oh, Expo. So, to round out Expo discussion, all of the everything is out. I shipped all of the Expo everything last weekend, which is part of the reason you didn't get a Flosstube, was because I was kind of like, I was in the zone getting Expo packages sorted, Expo orders sorted and packaged and that sort of thing. And I was not willing to stop and do anything else. So I got all of those packaged and shipped last week. A lot of folks are already posting their Happy Mail pictures on Instagram, which I love. Y'all don't know how much I love it when y'all post your pictures of your Happy Mail. One, because y'all take fantastic photos, but two, because it makes me happy that y'all are happy. I love that y'all are excited about what you're getting. One of the things that is always top of mind for me when I'm sending things out to folks, I want to make sure that you get your orders in really good condition. So I package them so that hopefully even when the mail mistreats them, they arrive to you in good condition. But I also like for you to feel like you've treated yourself. I like for you to feel like it's a gift that you got for yourself. So I take a lot of time and effort to put that into your packages. And when y'all see that and appreciate that, that makes me feel really good. So so please keep sharing your pictures when you have them. I love it. It makes me happy. So yeah, it gives me the warm fuzzies. I think, is that everything? I feel like I'm missing things. I think the only thing I didn't talk about was other yarn that I bought. Do y'all want to see some other yarn that I bought? So, folks who follow me on Twitch, you know that I think last month, was it July? It was either July or August. I played a game called Stray. Stray is this video game where you, the main character, are a cat. And you're separated from your family and thrown into this like really scary underground world, and you have to find your way back to your cat family. And it's all about the journey and everything to get back. It's all at once an adorable and a terrifying game. There are so many things in the game because the game designers did a ton of stuff to really just give you that full experience of catness. So there are things that you do in the game that are specifically just things that cats do, like scratching on furniture and jumping across things. And so there are some really fantastic, adorable things that happen in the game. But there's also some really terrifying stuff because that cat does not have the best time. And there are some things that can be a little bit triggering if you are a pet lover, if you're an animal lover, if you're a cat lover. So just saying. However, you know, some of the best things about the games are just kind of like the environment and the background and that sort of thing. There is a yarn dyer who takes inspiration from video games like Stray, and she turns those into colorways on yarn. And she's called, her business is called Nerdy Knits. Yeah, Nerdy Knits. And so she took inspiration from Stray and she created some fantabulous colorways to go along with it. And my most favorite is this. Oh my gosh. It's called Little Outsider. So that's what they call the cat. That's what the other characters, the non-player characters in Stray, call the cat. They call the cat Little Outsider. And it's adorable. Oh my gosh, this colorway is so good. It's so good. I apologize for all the wrinkling. And not only did she dye it on, so that's like a sock base. She got this zebra base. So it's called zebra because of the black striping. She did the colorway on this zebra base, and I never thought I would need zebra base anything, but oh my gosh, I saw this and I was like, I must have it. So I got a little bit of yarn. I got 2 skeins of Little Outsider on sock, and then I got 2 skeins of Little Outsider on the zebra base sock. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I love it so much. I love it so much. So I just wanted to share that with you. But yeah, so I've been having a lot of fun playing video games. Stray was definitely an experience, and since then I've been playing Genshin Impact, which is it's a fun sort of fantasy. It's very visually impactful. Like the quality of the visuals is amazing. They have some issues with cultural representation. Now, it's all fantasy, so technically these are not real world cultures and peoples and things like that, but it can be very obvious what certain areas are based off of, what cultures and geographical areas the places in the game are based off of. And they have some issues with representation for those types of areas, and with with having people with the right skin tones from the right areas, and or I should say, with having non-white people from areas that don't have white people, and also with representing the cultures that inspired these fantasy cultures, with representing them in a respectful and correct way. So that's having some dissonance because of that. Because as much as I want to just play the game and ignore that stuff, you can't just ignore it, because it's still representation. It's representation in a video game, and it's important to have representation in everything, right? So when you have fantasy cultures that are obviously inspired by Chinese culture, inspired by Japanese culture, inspired by Arab culture, and that sort of thing, you need to have the characters look that way. You need to have them sound appropriate and that kind of stuff. And they have issues. But trust me, every time I get a survey, I let them know. So I also don't pay them any money to play the game, so there would be that. But yeah, so what else? What else have I been into? There's just lots of stuff going on. Oh, so speaking of new projects, Stiitch. I almost forgot Stiitch. I didn't put it on my list. That's why I almost forgot. So Stiitch is coming back. I think I mentioned this last video, but it's official. Stiitch is coming back. Stiitch Along number 8 will be happening tonight, September 23rd at 9 p.m. The official first Stiitch Along live is happening. My current plan is, because I'll be doing my regular Friday stream, my current plan is to actually have a live watch party of the Facebook thing, if I can make the things work. We'll have a live watch party on my stream tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, so Stiitch is a thing. Sips and Stitches is going strong. So Sips and Stitches is bigger than it has ever been, because back in the day I was not a lot on social media, and I was like, we need to keep this team at like 10 or less, because I don't know how to manage. And this year I'm just like, I'm gonna put it on Discord. Whoever wants to join can join. So Sips and Stitches has exploded a little bit, but yeah. So I'll be running Team Sips and Stitches. We will be an official Stiitch team. If you're looking to participate in Stiitch on a team, you are more than welcome to join Sips and Stitches. You'll just need to get on our Discord server. You'll need to get on my Discord server, and I'll give you the Stiitch role if you request it, and that will let you see the Sips and Stitches team chat. And if possible, we'll have group chats and things like that through Discord and whatever. I'm not trying to make it super structured right now, because I have so much other stuff going on, and I may be asking folks to help me with admin for the team, depending on exactly how everything goes. So Stiitch, for those who are not in the know, Stiitch is a husband and wife designing team. They do snarky, nerdy cross-stitch designs, and have been doing for years. And up until the pandemic, they were doing a Stiitch along, so a mystery stitch along every year. And part of the thing that makes Stiitch so much different than your average stitch along, you have the mystery part of it, so you don't know what you're stitching, which is not 100% like other stitch alongs, because with Stiitch, you don't know. Like, you don't know that it's a Dark Queen that you're stitching. You have no idea what you're stitching. Unless somebody spoils it at the beginning of the stitch along, like they did in 2019. But you have no idea what you're stitching. You don't really know what the theme is. There's just, you don't know anything going in. But the other thing that makes it so much different is that there are teams and there are team competitions. So it is a competitive stitch along. And the competition comes in from the challenges more than the stitching itself. The stitching itself is only competitive in that, teams, there will be an opportunity for teams to say how many of their team members completed the stitch along during the time frame. And then that could figure into the overall awarded points to see which team wins at the end. But the stitching is not competitive. It's the challenges that are competitive, and they can be so fun and wacky and whatever. I'll try to remember to put a link in the comments. M made a TikTok video that is, oh my gosh. Don't listen to it if you can't stand an earworm, because you will have an earworm after it. But oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So in previous years, challenges that Rachel and I have participated in, and Heike to some extent. So Rachel and I and our respective spouses created a video because Rachel's husband, James, he actually played the part of Count 13 Ada. And did a dramatic reading of a rewrite of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, which was done in a Stiitch theme. So we rewrote it to fit to Stiitch, and James did a dramatic performance of it for us, which was awesome. We created a video parody, a music video parody. We also did a big group stitch where each of us did, we stitched a different drink, and we put those all together as a big team stitch. And there were challenges to take pictures of yourself stitching at really awesome places. And sometimes it's challenges to take pictures of, just where you work and where, just all kinds of different stuff. So sometimes there's picture challenges, sometimes it's video challenges, sometimes it's, big group things, and sometimes it's individual things. So there's lots of stuff going on. It's going to be very exciting. The big kickoff is tonight. The stitching doesn't start until the beginning of October. The thread list will drop on the 30th, and then I think the first pattern part drops on the 6th, if I'm remembering my dates correctly. And then the official team rosters will have to be finalized by the 19th of October, I believe. So all of that is coming up too, because who doesn't need another project, right? Oh my gosh, cats. Both of you? Really? Okay. I think that's everything now. If I think of anything else, it'll be another tack on after this part. Ma'am, get off of my stitching. Let go. Let me get going, because these two are going to make me batty. Getting my stuff all disordered. Okay, the needle is still there. Y'all need to stop it. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to calm down. Okay. Let me get going. If there's anything else, I will tack it on. Otherwise, I will see you again next time. And remember what I always say. Make sure to, what do I always say? Stay hydrated. Make sure to stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. Make sure you take all the meds you need to take. And remember that you are enough. And I will see you again next time. Bye.